All right, so I want to welcome everybody to the South Kongress podcast, Fan by Fan Show. My name is Cameron. I'm here with Travis. Travis, how are you?
What's happening?
So yeah, for anybody watching this for the first time, being we're doing it on a bit of a different format along with our typical audio show. We're a lifestyle show. We cover sports, pop culture, different things happening on social media, entertainment, movies, television. In particular, when Travis and I get together, we're typically talking about TV shows, mostly related to comic books.
Yep.
We do right now a weekly show covering CW's The Flash. And we'll get to that as far as everything that we do a bit later. What we want to talk about tonight, Travis and I actually live in Austin, Texas, and we attended the Wizard World Comic Con over the weekend. So we just want to talk about kind of our experience with that, the different things that we did, how we got to attend. So yeah, it should be a pretty cool show here. Travis, in order to get us jumping off, why don't you kind of introduce yourself to the people so we can get to how we got to go to the show with the status that we had.
Yeah, I'm Travis Bryant. I've worked for and with the Pro Wrestling Torch for, I guess, 9 years now, since summer of 2008. And with that comes media credentials sometimes. The most notable one, at least for me personally, was WrestleMania 30 back in 2014 when we all road tripped it down there and enjoyed ourselves a hell of a weekend on Bourbon Street in New Orleans. So, and I got to cover the all the behind the scenes stuff, all the extra, the Hall of Fame. Got to go to the show itself, sit in the press box, all that stuff. So that opportunity, another one of those opportunities, came up a couple of weeks ago when I got an email saying that I could be a part of the Wizard World and Comic Con here in Austin. That was just this past weekend, and it made sense to get Cam involved. And so we signed up and got approved and got our media credentials.
It was crazy. The email actually came to the promotions folder in my business email.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's why I think I hit you on one. I was like, hey, did you get anything? And you were like, yeah. And I was like, all right, let me check to make sure. And it was cool. And I guess, they basically say, who do you work for? Where's the links to what you did? Mm-hmm. And I think that, you go to the site, you search a name, and you're like, okay, this guy's done X, Y, and Z, so let's put him in there. I actually took off from the full-time job on Friday. I took a half day because the show opened at 4 o'clock on Friday. So I was there probably about 4:30. Got to go on the floor and just saw some of the coolest costumes and different replica weapons they were selling. To see all of the pictures that I took during Comic-Con, just go to my Twitter page. So it's twitter.com/Seahawk. It's CEEHAWK. Also on Instagram, it'll be Seahawk, CEEHAWK. And you can see all the pictures that I took of all the different cool cosplays at Comic-Con.
And there were a lot of good ones.
Yeah. I think my favorite one was a little girl who was Georgie from It. And she had a raincoat on with the one arm cut off. It had the little paper boat, the essence Georgie.
But she had even though she was a kid, they let her get a little gory. So it had a little blood splatter on where, the arm got bitten off or whatever. So that was cool. One of the better ones I saw was adult dad as Joker. I think Heath Ledger's Joker in a straight jacket, chained up, and being pulled by a 3-foot tall Batman. It was.
And I think
really nice.
was the wife or the daughter Robin. I think one of them was Robin. I think the wife might have been Two-Face.
Yeah, it was the whole family thing, but the Batman and Joker were the ones that were hidden.
Yeah, no, it was really cute. Yeah. I like I said, I got there Friday. Really walked the floor from 4:30 to 7:30, and I am one of those people who drinks like a lot of water. Like I try to drink a gallon of water a day, so I'm moving around the whole time. And I figure I may get something to drink afterwards. I'm like, okay, just keep drinking. So I had a Gatorade bottle, and eventually, like the lady working the door was like starting to laugh a little bit. And I'm like, oh, I just drink a lot of water because I'm going to refill. I'm going to the bathroom like every 20 minutes or so. But no, Friday was really cool. After the main show, our buddy, Danny Cooper, out of Ohio, actually put me on with his buddy Vic Dandridge, who is his own independent comic publisher, and typically goes around and intros a bunch of celebrities for these cons. So we found out he's going to be in Austin. He put me on with him. I ended up talking to him a little bit via Facebook, and there's a Comic-Con opening night after party. And I'm going to talk more about that here in a bit. There's a Comic-Con opening after party, and I ended up running into him that night. So we exchanged like information, like actual phone numbers and all that. So his name's Vic Dandridge Jr., right? And so I've been like Facebook messaging him thinking it's him, and it's been his dad like for like a whole day. Yeah. But his dad's nice enough to give me his number so that we get in touch. It's really cool. But no, we did the after party thing, and that was really fun the first night. So the second day they actually open at noon, and then they close at 8. So I end up getting out there about 1 o'clock because I'm watching like 3 episodes of Punisher. And Punisher's really good series. I end up getting out there, like I said, around noon, give or take. So a lot more people because, Friday evening, you're at school, you're at work, it's kind of hard to get out there. But Saturday, everybody's pretty much open, so the floors are packed. Like, there's people everywhere. Again, a lot of great costumes, less space to kind of operate. There are more celebrities at their booths on Saturday. But I kind of seen, you get familiar with the floor, like you know what the different booths are because the booths didn't change.
They don't set, that's stationary for 3 days.
Exactly. So, it was just really more costumes. The guy working the door, kind of the MC, who was at their main stage where they're playing instruments and he's taking pictures of everybody who's playing games. Yeah. He was really cool and energetic the whole time. So you got to see a bit more of his personality on Saturday. Okay. Just because there are more people, it's a bit more lively, so that was cool. I didn't buy any food or drink in that building because I just knew how expensive it was going to be.
Yeah, I didn't even venture to the... When I asked you, like, so are we going to, go to the food court? You were like, yeah, no. We are leaving to go somewhere else.
Exactly.
And that's what we did.
Yeah. Because it was, really, really... you just assumed whenever you have a convention...
Oh, absolutely.
People don't know what exists outside of that building unless they live there.
Yeah, you're going to spend $3-4 on a bottle of water.
And even on top of that, if you're the type of person who's bringing your kids out to that thing, you don't operate downtown. Yeah. Not in that area. So exactly, you're going to pay for what's there.
And you're not going to...
You don't want to walk in and out.
Drag three kids
exactly.
to go get some chicken or a couple burgers or...
Exactly. So you're going to pay for what's in front of you. Yeah. Nah, man. So we, it was water, and if I needed something, it was leave. So the first thing that I actually went to was the Bayley Q&A. For those uninformed, WWE's Bayley, former women's champion, former NXT champion. She did a half-hour Q&A, and we'll probably really get into this when we do your show. We'll talk about that. Yeah, we'll probably get into it really in detail. The coolest thing I thought, you finally realize she's really playing a character on TV. And what I mean by that, she has a level of confidence that I just didn't expect.
And a bit of serious, buddy? That kind of thing.
No,
Where Bayley would be like,
oh,
great. I mean, I appreciate the question. Pam Martinez is like, did you seriously just ask that dumbass question? Or at least that's what her face will say. She might not say those words, but you can clearly see
she's very much a mature adult person who keeps receipts. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was the coolest thing. I was like, oh, wow. She's like, this is a real three-dimensional person. And, just the confidence in her abilities I thought was the coolest thing. She believes that she belongs there, and that's great. But she still does have that thing about these are the people I look up to, and the fact that I'm around them just makes me really happy. So it was good. The second thing I went to, and we actually you weren't at the second thing I went to. The second thing I went to was Jason David Frank of Power Rangers fame. He actually had a Q&A. And Vic Dandridge actually introed him.
Which Ranger was he? He was the green one.
He's a Green Ranger. So it was cool because, we have our press credentials while we're at the thing, so I'm not, sitting in the crowd. I'm kind of off to the side. I got the camera set up. I'm adjusting things, trying to make sure it's right. And, people are kind of glancing over, who is this guy? What is he doing? And so then, as Vic, because
You work for Sable?
yeah, right. Jason actually was a little bit late. You know, I'm sure his schedule was crazy. He actually explained that while he was talking. Vic is recording and he comes up to me and he's like, "Hey Cam, make sure Danny sees this." And so like then people think I'm really a guy. It's funny. And a guy walks up to me and you'll see him if you look on this channel at the beginning of the Jason David Frank video. It's a guy in a Power Rangers t-shirt and pajamas. Yeah.
And
pajamas. It was great. And he's like, "Are you recording this for Facebook?" I'm like, "No, it's just I work for a company." So it was cool because, you know, cons they bring out like the real fans.
A company.
Yeah, so I work for a company. It was cool. So Jason David Frank was great. He is a workaholic. And
What do you have to say about CM Punk?
Yo, so somebody asked him about fighting CM Punk. He's like, "Yeah, I'll fight him for $1." But he doesn't want smoke. He does not want smoke. So like, and it was just like, but he was respectful about it to the point where he was like, "Look, like, I understand that, you know, I've been training my whole life. This is what I do all the time. If I'm not doing a movie, like, this is what I'm doing. You can't," and this the amount of time he said was crazy. He said, "Yo, you can't come in here for 18 months. You can't train for 18 months thinking you can get in the ring and fight or get in the cage and fight somebody. Like, it's just..."
It's the same thing any 10, 12, 15, 20-year wrestling, professional wrestling would say. Like, you can't.
You can't just walk in.
Yeah, obviously you can. We've seen it done. Lawrence Taylor, Mayweather, and to a higher extent, we've seen, you know, Kurt Angle, literally within 12 months was TV ready.
Yeah, but it does take a
typically,
different level of athleticism.
Yeah.
You have to be special.
You have to be like a freak athlete.
You can't just be good.
And even those guys, I mean, look how long it takes to really... But again, it's easier with pro wrestling because you're cooperating and it's a dance basically in the show. Fighting, this is a competitive skill. This isn't let's figure out what we're going to do together. This is, you can get your head kicked off and never fight again because
the coolest thing that he did, and you can tell, like he runs the con circuit. Like, he makes it a point to be at all the things he's invited to. So he gets up on the stage, and probably the first 10 minutes are just like, so, and he said it in the nicest way possible. He's like, "Look, I know you guys have a lot of questions. I want to get to as many questions as I can, but if you could just give me some time, I'm going to state a few things about what I'm doing, what I've been doing, the things I know about, the things I don't know about. So hopefully, you know, I can answer some questions you might have at the beginning, and then you can come up with some different things." You can tell he's a guy who gets asked the same thing.
Oh, right.
And he just put it out there.
I was going to cover that.
Yep.
You know,
and he was like, "I've been working on this. This is what I know about the 25th anniversary. This is what I know about..."
Empowering.
Yeah, this is what I know about if there's going to be a movie sequel. Like, it was really smart because he's just like, "Yo, I know this is what people want to know. Let's get this out of there." And then, you know, we
come up with some more stuff. And it's not even, it's about, probably for him, just having a good time at those things.
Exactly. But
like, he's probably like, I want to hear some original questions, something that, you know, I haven't been asked before or don't get asked often, because that's going to make this Q&A's back and forth session a lot more fun than, the power, you know, this question he's answered this, you know, 77 times. So, yes, that's smart.
Because he's cast as, like you said, he was a Green Ranger, and, you know, then he was the White Ranger, then he was a Red Ranger. Like, basically, he's the constant in that universe. He pretty much touches every iteration. So he's been there since I was 5 years old. You know what I mean? Like, and he was probably 20. You know, so that's what, like 25 years? Like, he's, you know, 40s. So he's, you know, he's up there, but he, like, really has a reverence for it.
He was in the movie?
But he was before the movie.
No. The newest one that came out either this year or last
year. He did a cameo in the movie.
Nice.
Him and Kimberly did cameos.
Literally.
Yeah.
That's what because I'm wondering, like, wait, was he in?
He's kind of touched on everything. So,
that's cool.
Just like the fact that he really still cares about it and cares about how his character is perceived, and he, likes to have input on, like, when he does outside stuff that still involves a character. Like, it was great. He, you can tell why people appreciate him. You can tell why so many people showed up in his autograph line and even at the Q&A. Like, he's just he's very endearing, and you know, when you care about the thing that you produce, people are going to be drawn to you. So he was great. The thing that we got to be a part of together was the Matt and Jeff Hardy Q&A. Yeah. Matt and Jeff Hardy, long time WWE competitors who just got back in the company less than a year ago. Again, fun stuff. It was. I'm still new to this whole process, so like that was the first one that I live streamed, and I was like, this makes sense. I should have been doing this the whole time. But no, they were great. You know, what can you say? They really, because of how they came up in the game, because they were, you know, local guys doing everything they could to be seen, and you know, then they were jobbers, and then you get to that superstar level, and you just have the heights and heights of success, and at this point, you kind of write your own check. Like, it was great because as fans, we grew up with them. We got to see like this whole thing come to fruition. So, yeah, it was just fun. What's your kind of take on the things you got to touch on, things you got to be a part of?
Just that when you hear, oh, the Hardys are like so down to earth, it's like that comes across, like being 10 feet from them, and when they walk by and Matt or Jeff doesn't know who you are, they just see you set up. I appreciate what you're doing.
Like, just man, thanks.
You know, kicking it, man. So he really does seem like a guy that's like doesn't take those crowds showing up for granted. Like, you know, if he's doing the circuit in 10 years, you know, same kind of autograph stuff, Legends Fests and stuff. He seems like he'd even be invested at 50 years old with fans who are, you know, aging out and newer fans who don't know him, and he'd understand that and not be like, how do you not know who Jeff Hardy is? 10-year-old who came around like the year I retired. You know, so that's the one thing that I took away from that. These dudes do seem like cool guys worth hanging out with. Like if they were like, hey, you know, Torch guys, you want to come hang out with us and, you know, get some beer, play some video games on our bus, like, hell yeah. Yeah,
they had the time. You feel like they'd be like
Absolutely.
that. Yeah, they and then Matt just seems very much in control of his life. Like, I don't know what specifically got that across from me, but he really controls the room. And there was always that thing, you know, as they're younger, like, well, you know, they're both good, but Jeff's the quote unquote talent. Like, he's the standout. But it's like New Edition. Like, whatever Michael Bivins wasn't, Michael Bivins was the one, and not saying Jeff's not, but Michael Bivins was the one smart with the money, who knew we got to do this album, we got to do this dance step. If this thing doesn't work, here's our next thing. And, you know, he prospers like that. Like, it was just, like, really fun being around those guys. Like, I try to separate myself from fandom when we're doing these things. Like, I want to be, I want to be the news guy who's producing this material so people can see it. But it was hard not to be endeared by those guys. Like, they were great. And I enjoy that. And I know you didn't get to see the stuff at the beginning, but like, I like that old fan and young fan and boy fan and girl fan are just so into these people. Like, it is fun to see. Like, people you look up to. A guy at Bailey's was basically like, he was training to be a wrestler. And he was like, yo, like, I had a concussion a while ago, and, you know, when I had a concussion, it's hard for me, like, I want to do this bump, but I'm nervous, like, and it's weird, I never thought about it, even though we've talked about it, like, an injury can stifle your career. Oh, yeah. You're afraid of getting injured because you take time off, somebody else jumps in your spot, and just the way that she talked to him about working through that, it was great. Like, it was really fun to see people latch on to them and really look up to them and take their advice. It was great.
And like you said just a minute ago, old, young, girl guy, they run the gamut of fans. You're not going to see one type in their autograph lines. At their Q&As.
Yeah. And you could just, like Matt and Jeff Hardy, again, because of their tenure, because of their impact, especially on somebody around our age who would have disposable income at this point. Like, their line was just ridiculous.
Who was that?
Matt and Jeff.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you know, their fans are 30 and 35
and
40. Like, totally. They can afford to.
Yeah, they're right in the sweet spot of,
And whereas some of the other people who are, like, on big shows and in big movies did not have lines like that. Because it's a different energy that they give you. Because
And the dedication. I mean,
yeah.
how many people are showing up to see Jason Momoa? Like, you might think he's a cool guy if you might think he's hot, but
he's the bad example because his line was ridiculous.
Well,
I know what you mean.
But yeah, it's like, like, oh yeah, I remember you from Game of Thrones. I remember you from this, but nobody's following that man's career like people follow Jeff Hardy's career.
This is different. It's
different
level of engagement. Yeah. So no,
it's not worse, not better. Just definitely different.
That was cool. So, we end up leaving the con, and you and I go to Gus's Fried Chicken, which was phenomenal. Yes. You come to Austin, Texas, Gus's Fried Chicken downtown. I was skeptical. It's amazing.
Line out the door. Yeah. It's worth it.
So worth it. Like, if they tell you it's a 20-minute wait 20 minutes.
That's short.
Yeah.
That's a fast food run.
That was so good. So we do that. We end up going to a bar before the closing party. I ended up hanging around and actually going over there. It was cool. So I run into Vic again. Yeah. And it's Vic and his buddy, and it's great. And you've seen the picture. Oh, you were with me. When I took the picture of Scorpion and Sub-Zero, right?
Oh, yes.
So, two girls, really attractive girls, dressed as Scorpion and Sub-Zero. No, I have to show you this. This is great because you can actually see this live. And again, if you guys go to my Instagram or my Twitter, you'll see their picture. So they are, they were nice. Like when we met them, like they just take the pose or whatever. And they're like, hey, yeah, nice to meet you. So I'm with Vic. And then who's with him at the after party?
In civilian clothes.
Scorpion and Sub-Zero in civilian clothes. Yeah, they were really cool. So that was a fun night. And I'm hanging around, and Vic's such a nice guy. Like, I tell him, I got to go home to the lady. And he's like, okay, cool. He'll text me her name. Well, okay, I texted him her name. And then in the morning, he hits me like, y'all got a pass waiting for her at Will Call. I was like, man, that's so cool. And we ended up not going. We ended up seeing Justice League.
Speak on it. Real quick.
It's not good. It's not good.
I've heard so many mixed. I've heard people go.
It's very mixed.
Ignore the critics or the not professional critics, but the folks like you that get on Facebook and say Twitter is not good. Ignore them because it's great. Because like literally, I saw Kurt Hoffman post that exact status on Facebook. Ignore the bad update reviews. Justice League is great. And then I keep scrolling, and then there's yours. Yo, Justice League ain't it.
It ain't it.
I was like, you know what? If I gotta, like Kurt Hoffman, he's great.
He's my man.
Awesome impersonations. But if I had to decide, like I'd have to be like.
But listen though, he put a qualifier on it though. Like ignore people who say dude, like no. Here's the thing, it ain't it. But I'm not saying it's a bad movie. It's not a good movie. Like, you've seen how many movies in the DCEU? You've seen what? Batman vs. Superman?
No.
You've seen Man of Steel?
Yes.
You thought Man of Steel was good?
I thought Man of Steel was fine.
Okay.
No, wait, which the one with, I saw two Superman ones. Superman Returns and...
Superman Returns like 10 years ago.
Yeah. Well, I saw it.
But that's not, like, why would you, that's not a part of this. The guy who played Superman in Superman Returns is a damn Atom in DC TV. I think that doesn't qualify. But no, listen, so Man of Steel is fine, right?
Oh, yeah.
Batman vs. Superman is worse than Man of Steel.
Okay.
Suicide Squad is worse than Man of Steel. Wonder Woman is a good movie.
So that's the
Justice League is worse than Man of Steel.
So that's the one. Wonder
Woman's, and it's not even not good compared to other things. It's just good. Yeah. Like Wonder Woman, if you think about parallels, you would say it's similar in mythos to Thor. It's better than Thor 1 and 2.
Except her place is on Earth.
Yeah, but it's better than Thor 1 and 2. Like, substantially better than those two movies. And those movies are fine.
Says you.
But no, says everybody. Says anybody who watches movies. It's like, you haven't even seen it. What are you talking about?
What?
The Wonder Woman.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
Yeah. Like, you can't, but no, it's better. So, really quick, because I think there's somebody who wants to do a full review of Justice League with me, but let me just say this. It's just microwave, man. It's a movie that should be 3 movies.
Damn. It was the same thing with Batman and Batman versus Superman. It was like
you know how
3.5 hour movies that they had to like.
But
cut
you know
down
how like it didn't make sense. I mean, you haven't seen Batman vs Superman.
No.
But what was my key thing? It doesn't make sense why they hate each other.
Right. There's no motivation.
Doesn't make sense why they want to kill each other.
Yeah.
Like I don't get it. Like it's whatever. So there is like this big common threat, but Aquaman essentially says no, I'm not joining your team, and then he joins the team. Because I mean, it was a reason he had to, but he
How you don't put Superman on the cover of the poster?
There's a reason, but okay, so
Justice League, but Superman gets
like I know you don't like Batman. We've established this, but
I don't like Batman.
But here's the thing, though. Batman, his role in the Justice League is that we understand Batman's not a meta, but we also understand we should all be afraid of Batman.
Sure.
Nobody's afraid of Batman.
Even the good. I mean, because they're good guys.
No, that's what I'm saying, though. The good guys have a respect for Batman that doesn't have to be proven. Like, they don't end up respecting Batman after the fact. They respect Batman from the jump because they know his legend, they know his deeds. Like, Flash in the movie had no idea who Batman was. Well, he did, but he was like, so what are your powers again? Like, that doesn't come up. Aquaman...
Well, wouldn't you if you're Batman? Like, that's fine if to have people not even...
But he never does a thing to where Flash should, He doesn't steal
I just
watch.
mean, like, Flash from the outside, like, oh, yeah, no, I know who Batman is. What's your powers? Well, you would want people that don't know you intimately and personally to think you have.
It wasn't cast like that, though. It wasn't played for that. Like, Batman, like, there's that famous thing in the comics where Green Lantern doesn't respect Batman. And actually, they did it in Justice League War in the movie. Green Lantern doesn't, like, appreciate Batman. And as they're talking, Batman takes his ring off and just holds it up in front of him. And then he depowers. Because that's what Batman is.
How do you do that?
He's a ninja. That's what Batman is. Like, the thing about Batman is he's never expressed as a meta, but everything he does is borderline meta. It just is. Batman was like tech support in this movie. But nobody respected
and
what
was
he
it
did.
Ben Affleck?
It was Ben Affleck. Yeah, he was fine, not good. But it just... They had to bastardize that character for what they thought made the thing work. It didn't work. Superman, everybody knows Superman's in the movie, right? Like, everybody knows that. No? Yes?
I mean...
You don't want to say why wasn't he on the cover. But no, everybody knows. People know Superman's in the movie. Superman...
I've never seen him in none of the damn commercials.
Superman has a character turn that takes, like, one little thing. Again, it's the Martha thing all over. Just really quickly, like, okay, we know how to make Superman back on our good side. And then time is weird in the movie because when Superman comes to save the day, he should have been there an hour earlier. Cyborg was really good.
Like, y'all gonna disrespect me, don't put me on a poster, I get there.
Yeah, right? Cyborg, really good. It just made sense, the things that he did. Wonder Woman highlighted a movie because she's just good overall, and Gal Gadot is great. And they do this one stupid thing where Batman and Flash get off his private plane and they do a shot from like up under her butt to see them. And I was just like, why? Like, she's not even in Wonder Woman costume.
Right.
Like, there's no purpose for it. But the thing is,
see them yeeks.
Stupid. But the thing that's good about it, Themyscira always looks great. The one thing Zack Snyder is really good at, because you've seen 300.
Yeah.
The one thing he's good at is
big escapes.
Big fight-scapes and Amazon-ish people executing moves and teamwork. And there's like in 300 with the
Xerxes, he was like 7'12".
Well, yeah, but I mean with the Spartans.
He didn't really like.
No, but with the Spartans though, just the way they fought as a team and the slow motion action, and they did a great job of that with the Amazons. That was perfect. And there's an opening, not an opening crawl, but there's a giant fight scene where, spoiler alert, Green Lanterns are in the fight, and it's so cool. Like, it's just... And another mistake they made, like, Steppenwolf is the bad guy. I know you're not super familiar with DC, but essentially he's from Apocalypse, where Darkseid's from.
Okay.
But he looks so much like Ares from Wonder Woman, and operates so much like Ares from Wonder Woman, and he's completely CGI, by the way. It's a fine movie. It's not a good movie. I wouldn't tell people not to go see it, but yeah, end credits were awesome though. Like I was about to say that because my favorite DC characters in them. Yeah, they finally got over that hump. Somebody described it being like a 3-hour cut of this movie. They were like, that's like giving me a plain chicken sandwich that tastes like cardboard, and then me coming to your window and saying, hey, why don't you give me any sides with this plain chicken sandwich? Like, it doesn't actually make the meal any better.
Well, it's more food. It fills you up.
No, it's more things outside of what you're actually eating, though. Like, if we went to Max's and the beans were real good, but the chicken was mid, you wouldn't be happy when you left.
Yeah, I wouldn't be like, Max's is that shit.
Yeah, thank you so much for the beans. Nah, so, yeah, it was just fine. Yeah. So yeah, that was kind of the weekend. Comic-Con was fun, man. Like we, hopefully the next time it comes around, either this one or if they do a San Antonio or a Dallas, that I think based on the fact that we do have some work to show for it now because the videos are on YouTube. I'm still working on transcribing it like for the Torch because I think that'd be a cool thing if we can get that just to kind of get a look into the minds of the of this WWE wrestlers, see what they say. But I think now since we have like the actual workload to show while we were there, I'm pretty sure we can get press to the next few cons and just see who's there and kind of plot out what we're doing and keep these at the very least keep the Q&A videos going and see if we can book some private time with people.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have worked this time around because their schedules were so tight and it happened to be the weekend or the day before pay-per-view where they all had to be there. Yeah. So yeah, some stuff, but all in all, like I had a really good time. I'm exhausted because I should have started doing this stuff 10 years ago. I'm exhausted from Sunday. I was on the couch the whole day. But yeah, fun times. Okay, so this is something I haven't told you yet, so you'll be surprised to hear this too. On Friday night, the after party was actually at a place called Hops and Heroes, and I told you about it. It's a non-profit comic shop.
Oh yeah.
They have a comic shop and they have a children's toy museum.
Now hops, is that for beer or is that for like what's the gimmick with hops? Because I think beer or bunnies.
Not gonna tell you yet.
Uh-huh.
And here's why. I actually spoke to the owner and co-owner. So on Monday night, I'm actually going to be doing a live stream with them at the shop.
Nice.
Along with
where's the show?
Podcast. This is going to be on Cesar Chavez.
Okay.
Cesar Chavez. Okay. So yeah, I'll be doing a live stream at the shop with them, talking about how they came up with the idea for the shop, different things they have planned going forward, how they contribute to nonprofits. So if you're watching this on the stream, or if you watch it again later, Monday night, probably about 8 o'clock, we're going to be live streaming our podcast from there. So it should be a good time. So yeah, I want to thank you guys for checking this out. We are going to do, if you're watching live, if you tune in the next couple of minutes, we're actually going to be doing reviews for CW's The Flash. Yeah. We're going to do the last 2 episodes since our schedule was a bit off because of Comic-Con. So yeah, you'll see that later tonight. If you're listening on the podcast, depending on how fast you listen to these, you might hear them one after another. If this is going to be your limit for the night, or if you're going to check us out again later, you can find this podcast at soundcloud.com/South Kongress. That's going to be South Kongress with a K. Again, soundcloud.com/South Kongress.
So have you you started specifically, because remember, you were uploading them to your Seahawks SoundCloud for
No, South Kongress is the address. Yeah.
Okay.
Even though that has the name.
Okay. So when you're on, right, that's different. You would search, I guess, Seahawks.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, we're on iTunes, we're on Stitcher. So yeah, South Kongress with a K. South Kongress.
Anywhere podcasts live, you can find this. Stitcher, probably, yeah, all those places.
Exactly. So yeah, that's going to do it for us on this Comic-Con review episode. For Travis and Cameron, and we're out.